I spent my whole life becoming a professional ballet dancer, and once I did it, I quit. Here's my story part 2. When casting came out for my first year in Nutcracker, I got 2 parts. 1, I was going to be one of the kids under the skirt in Act 2, and 2, I was going to be a mouse in the first act. Not just any mouse, the screamer mouse, the one that gets shot in the butt and screams, and yeah, I thought that was so cool. My dad, however, did not think it was so cool because every other weekend when I was at his house, he would have to stop drinking for the weekend and drive me an hour to classes and ballet rehearsals, and he was not about it. He hated that I did ballet because that was my mom's thing, and so him and my stepmom did everything they could to get me to quit. He told me that the other parents were really catty and mean to him. My stepmom told me that I was gonna go bald from having my hair in a bun. She also told me that I was going to end up a stripper if I continued doing ballet. And she also told me that my thighs were too big, I was never gonna make it. And I was, again, 7 years old. As I'm sure you can tell by now, my dad's home did not really feel super safe for me. And my mom's home was a lot better because my mom and both of my grandparents were super loving and nurturing, but 3 generations under one roof was also not the easiest thing. So ballet became my safe place, and I did this weird thing as a kid where I imagined all of the company dancers as my family. And I had this fantasy where the director was my grandmother and her husband was my grandfather, and the ballet master and mistress were my mom and dad, and all the other company dancers were my aunts and uncles, and my peers were my siblings or my cousins, and ballet was the place where I had one cohesive family unit. I look back on that time and it feels kind of bittersweet because I remember how comforting it felt to have that fantasy family, but I also feel sad for that little girl who was just grasping for a sense of safety. Anyways, my dad has only ever seen me perform twice. And the first time was my first Nutcracker. And on the way home from that performance, my dad and my stepmom actually got into a car accident. Follow along to see what happened and how they got me to quit for a year.